Reapers Underground. We hope you survive.
Oh, yes, indeed, my demons. Welcome to the Friday night, kicking off your weekend right with the big bad devil daddy himself and Reapers Underground. So I got a special one for you tonight. A stunning new director that has been killing it with this franchise that I don't know. It gives you so many different vibes, and we're going to be talking about that throughout the interview. But we got creator, director, mastermind behind the Creep footage franchise himself. Welcome, Kevin Gincerowski.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and everybody else.
Awesome. I was actually in your little intro there. I'm like jamming to the music while I'm waiting. I'm like,
and it was really kind of going through my head because I'm like, how am I going to kick off my spiel this evening? And I was about to say, every time my music hits, I feel like a WWE superstar because, being a former, doom metal, heavy metal drummer, that's the type of stuff that I love to listen to. And that particular band is hot. They're so good. And I was like, ooh, gotta get this on. So we're going to jam a lot. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
But, what is up, Kyler, Deborah, Lizzie, Mortimer in the house? Good to see you all. And most importantly, this is the time. Don't forget, my demons and the addicts out there in the Black Flame universe, we are back on Facebook. We are streaming on Reapers Underground right now, as well as Black Flame Entertainment. So YouTube is not the only place you can catch this now. So if you got your phones ready, and I'm sure they're handy dandy, sitting right next to you, as most people in this country, so share this out anywhere and everywhere that there is a horror lover, especially indie horror, because we are highlighting some of the latest and greatest and bestest we got. So we are so excited. But before we get into this madness, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Well, you're just going to have to see it. Check it out. That's right. We are coming back. Divine Madness is going to be back in just 1 week. So just wanted to let everybody know in epic fashion, my brother Robert Lasardo has been busy down south shooting all kinds of ooey gooey goodness. So he's been a busy bee, haven't we all? But we will be back in 1 week. So stay tuned. Welcome, Kevin. How are you doing tonight, my brother?
Good. Thanks for having me. That was
Absolutely
an amazing intro. It's like I can't get over it. Awesome.
Well, I've been doing this for a while. So. But at the end of the day, most importantly, you have created something that is just taking the indie world by storm. And the fact that you chose moi, the big bad devil daddy himself, to be a part of it was an honor. And from the first poster I was like, I saw this come through, and I know Dylan through Facebook. So I was like, this looks awesome. I need to check and see. I need to ask the man himself. Is there a way that I can get in there and bring some of my darkness to it? And you were like, yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal, but yeah, it would be great to have. I'm like, not a big deal. Art is art. And I feel, and a lot of us feel in the underground out there in the Black Flame universe, that we have a lot of features that come out that are really good, very creative, great stories, but there is some lost arts, I feel, in horror that you're helping to bring back.
I'm trying
a little bit of that storytelling, ghost storytelling, like almost like a campfire story in a way. Found footage, not exactly. I mean, you're teetering on the border of it. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Like you're throughout the film, which we're going to be, letting everybody know about here in a minute, that it's very eerie. The imagery, so fucking important to me. Imagery is everything, especially the way it's narrated and how it flows. And you're mixing, actual footage, no pun intended, in there as well. And it flows flawlessly. So I have to ask, what were some of the films that was the catalyst that gave you this idea? Like, how was this idea formulated?
Well, I've always had the idea way back when I was a kid.
See, it always goes back to childhood.
It always goes back to childhood.
All of us, trust me.
And my grandmother. So,
okay,
got me into this stuff.
Grandma.
Yeah. So it started with Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And Adrian King. And that's the movie that just grabbed me. But another movie that she gave me was The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
So that, to me, that's another classic.
Without a doubt. Ahead of its time.
And then, fast forwarding through time, I just try to pick up little bits here and there.
Yeah.
And I'm old school. I appreciate, the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, it began with the black and whites, and they still hold up, 50, almost 70 years later, people still, goo goo gaga for it.
One particular person, director, creator, Rob Zombie.
Oh, sure.
He started doing his films. House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. I have them all. And it's sort of like I appreciate his style. It's old school. It's graphic, it's violent, it's everything.
And weird.
And weird. He does go to places
we ourselves are weird too. So
exactly.
And and that, I believe, if I remember reading one of his interviews a while back, he was saying how people that get it that like people that were fans of that style. So, and obviously the psychedelic, the 60s, mid 60s to, let's say, the entire 70s really kind of brought that weird psychological kind of mind screw.
Right. Exactly.
Were there any films from that period that kind of like really stood out to you?
Like back in the 60s and 70s and that era?
Yeah. Where a lot of that was used,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rosemary's Baby was
yes,
movie for me.
There were some big, deep psychological moments in that.
Yes.
I mean, the great Magus Anton LaVey was the devil in that film. Go figure.
In the 70s, films like, obviously Texas Chainsaw and getting into that.
Man. There's
stuff.
no better film, honestly, in that decade that really brought a sense of realism
Right.
in a super, super dark way.
Exactly.
It's like you almost feel like you're there with them.
Right.
It's like, where is this? Some
Exactly.
desolate little town that nobody knows about.
And I want to give a shout out. It's 50 years for Jaws. An amazing movie. Just all-time classic.
And it's yes, and it's always going to be classic. It brings the terror, it brings the fright. Whether you are a believer that it belongs in the horror category or not,
Right.
damn it, what have we seen in the last 20 years? Shark movie after shark movie after
The shark movie. Right.
There wouldn't be a frenzy for that if people did frenzy, of course. Feeding for I'm just on one today, I guess. But if people didn't dig it, if they didn't dig the that type of fright, again, realism, it wouldn't be so damn popular. So whether it's horror or not, we will definitely tip our hat to that whole franchise.
Exactly. Now, one particular person that inspired me for your character, the caretaker, was Tony Todd.
Ah, yes.
His character in the Final Destination movies. I'm like, I want sort of that element, that kind of delivery, and you bring it. It's like you have a unique style and delivery and look, and he inspired me, for that. And then you bring it.
And that's what I loved about his particular character, and why myself and Mortimer on the Horror Barbecue Show have said many times, he may have had a minor role, but he really carried the weight, in my opinion, of those films, because he was the guy that everybody went to. He was the all wisdom, and he doesn't give it easy. He don't just give it up. He basically tells you, you're screwed.
Right.
The nicest way possible.
The nicest way, right. And the coolest way.
There's that fucking laugh that he always does after. It's like he's telling you, you're basically gonna die, and good luck trying to beat that, because you can't beat death. And he lets out a I'm sitting here going, that is monumentally badass.
Exactly.
Mortimer says here, always be ready to and adapt and evolve, but never forget the past. Exactly. Learn from it. And, that's kind of what we see within this world. So kind of walk us through the very first creep show. My goodness, creep footage. I've been doing that all day, so I may do it many more times, but damn it, that's a classic too.
I do it myself, but creep show is one of my favorites as well. But yeah, the very first one. And there was some famous people in that.
Oh my goodness.
Ed Harris, and there's many of them.
Absolutely. But yeah, walk us through the process of the first one.
The first one was me just having the initial idea and going down to the trails and just literally just hitting record and walking. Now, as we all know, it's an interesting process when you're doing the raw footage, but you're trying to play the music in your head. It's like, okay, what kind of music's going to go to this? I have to figure that out later, but I just need to get the basic footage down. So the first one is just you're walking through trails, but the very beginning is the actual New York State hospital, mental hospital. I grew up probably 10 minutes from there. That's where I'm originally from, upstate New York.
Ooh,
and couple, probably like 3-4 years ago, I took some pictures of it and took some footage of it and just sort of sat on the footage. Never knew I was going to really use it, until just a light bulb kind of goes off,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, I got an idea.
Well,
So
something like now, is it a place that's closed down or is it
it's
still?
closed down. They're
Oh,
renovating.
yeah.
That's the original building it was built in the 1800s.
Oh, wow. The ghosts that live in there. Unholy shit.
I say the same thing. They're renovating it. I guess they're thinking about possibly doing tours.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
They should.
I'm in. I'm like, I'll go. So
I'm in. I'm sure
up.
Mortimer would jump on that too. Shit.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
It's so big, and you really get more of it in part 4. You see quite a bit of it in part 4. Part 3, you don't really see, the hospital too much, except the very end where I'm running the credits. And then you see a picture at the end of the state hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But in part 4, I'm like, I really want to bring this in. I mean, it's a great landscape.
It's almost like the centerpiece of this nightmare.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's no wonder, you grew up not too far from there. You've been probably past it a couple hundred times. You probably, soaked in some of the energy, the mystery,
right.
Of this place. I mean, film has taught us, ever since Vincent Price graced the screen, House on Haunted Hill, that these places within the walls, you're gonna see some shit. It's gonna scare you, and there's a story behind it.
And
that's one of the things that I love about this series, is especially where it's going right now. Oh, it's amazing. So at this point in Creep Footage, the first one, is it more like an introduction to what's to come?
Basically.
Okay.
It's more or less like an 8-minute trailer, an introduction. I just have some creepy music in the background.
Sure.
To just give you that visual, but there's no people, there's no speaking. It's literally just an eeriness.
The eerie ambience of, it's more of an emotional builder. Yes. Which is also kind of part of the psychological, drawing you in, giving you those feelings of fright, and there's just something uneasy, something is coming, that kind of thing.
The way I described the first one is I'm hanging out at the pool. The second one, I actually get my feet wet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, part 3, now I'm in the pool. I'm creating a little splash here.
Sure.
So that's the way I describe the sequence of the movies. Part 4 and part 5, it's going to be my cannonball.
Oh man, it's going to elevate it that much more, because there's a lot of time that I feel passes between each parts of this story. Gosh, it really reminds me of King Diamond's latest work, which is called The Institute, which is based on kind of a similar idea.
Okay.
Only set to music, heavy metal. So, you have the hospital, and there's these horrific horrors that take place, and what comes out of it is just abominable,
Right.
So I really kind of love where this is going. I love the idea of things have been happening at this place, got itself shut down because of it. But there is something that lingers.
Exactly. Exactly.
So moving into part 2, take us into that.
So part 2, I knew at this point I needed some people. So
okay,
my wife volunteered.
Thank you, wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate your sacrifice.
Exactly. She's the best. and a couple of close friends. So
nice.
It has that documentary sort of feel to it.
Mm-hmm. It's like you're hitting every major corner. It's it's like an orchestra of terror.
Exactly.
First you get darkness. Now you're getting a little bit of backstory.
Right. And then, it's sort of like I want to give people the illusion of, is Apple here or isn't he? Mm-hmm. So in part 2, you sort of, get the idea, okay, Apple's a ghost. He's dead, part 3 deals with what went on inside. Except at the end, when I give you a little graveyard scene, it's present day,
mm-hmm.
and up in front of the stone is his mask. I wanted to end it there because I want people to say, okay, what's that doing there?
Mm-hmm.
I want to give you the illusion of, gee, what really happened to Apple? So part 2, just deals with, the backstory, his bullying, why he became what he is,
mm-hmm.
or was, dealing with that. It's inspired, by things that happened to me, when I was, young. I was mainly, like bullied by girls, when I was growing up.
And that's fascinating you say that, because so much in society, they have like this figurehead of this can only happen one way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like only one gender can either bully another, or how things end up going down. They don't realize that it's not always the same story.
Right. I mean, for me, I was a shy, skinny little kid, painfully shy sometimes, and I still am to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I try to come out of my shell and relax.
Well, you're doing great.
Now I deal thank you. Now I deal with anxiety. So I get to take meds for that now,
Woo-hoo!
And it's like,
no, I'm just playing.
Oh yeah. But it's, I just wanted to sort of showcase what happened to Apple, why, why he's doing what he's doing. He really just wants to be left alone. But moving into part 3 deals with, now he thinks he's going to a place to get healed.
Right.
And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Because
because we don't want to give too much away.
Right. I mean, that happens sometimes. You think you're going to get help, and it ends up just going into another direction. And that's where Sandy comes in, and she's not so nice. Everything started out okay, but
see, I love how you've personalized this passion project. Mm-hmm. And to many creators, directors, writers, that they put a lot of themselves in there, or they in one way or another, either they've experienced it, or they can imagine themselves experiencing this kind of thing.
Right.
So that's what really makes this project relatable to everyone.
Right.
Whether they love their gore hounds, creature hounds, slasher hounds, all the different genres. I feel like literally these shorts are for everybody in the horror community.
Right.
Shoot, let me see here.
3, I also wanted to throw in a little bit of humor in there. It's not all serious all the time. It's like, hey, we're watching this.
Gotta have a little bit of relief within the tension.
Exactly. All of a sudden you get this old-fashioned theater commercial going on telling you about refreshments. It's like, what is this?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. You know what I mean? Sure.
It has nothing to do with the story. It's just there just to break it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my weird whatever imagination. I'm going to keep that in there.
Which is very much indicative of, let's say, Rob Zombie style of film. And I've seen this technique through different decades too, where it's literally this interlude that gives you a little bit of a break. Like they got you on the edge of your seat and then they're going to throw this in, right? Mm. And you're just like, where the hell did this come from?
Exactly. Where
and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I think I got it figured out. Cool. And then bam.
Yep.
They get you right back. A couple of comments here I wanted to make sure that I highlight for you. I totally understand you have the film in your head and it's like you're collecting the images. Very much so. Right. Deborah Rossi here. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Deb.
It is definitely suspenseful imagery, makes you want to know what's coming next. Yes, it's like a drive to the finish. Like if you're at I don't know, almost like a unholy sporting event. And you're like, are they going to make it? What are they going to do next? How are they going to get out of this?
Exactly.
Shit, even Scooby-Doo as kids gave us that. You know what I mean? So you're creating that only in a much darker, more fun way.
Right, exactly.
In my opinion. So,
I really enjoy the process of everything. Mm-hmm. I love being creative. Like I said, it's like I've been doing this less than a year. And it's like, I can't believe that I'm already like working on part 4 and 5. It's like pretty amazing to me, and to have people like you and the rest of everybody in part 3 and who's helping me with part 4 and 5. Everybody has been amazing.
Well, and I think with, it's one of those things. We talk about some films that have these incredible casts, and then you're like, could this ever be recreated? No, there's no way, because when a creator, director brings a certain cast together, there's a magic there.
There is. Yes.
So, and that was one of the things I was going to ask you. So when you got to that point where you were like, I gotta get some folks in here, right?
Right.
Did some names fire off right away?
Well, in part 2, like I said, it was my wife and a couple of close friends helping me. Mm-hmm. And then I finished up part 2. I knew I wanted to go into a different direction with part 3. And in doing that, it's like I just wanted different people, imagery, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And being friends for a while through Facebook.
Thank you, Facebook, even though you spanked me.
Yeah. There's certain things you can thank them for, and then there's certain other things,
Exactly right.
But I sent a message to Dylan Dawn Harvey, and just to see if I can use her picture, in part 3, just to give it something different.
Great model and actress to really, kind of work a canvas on,
Exactly. For me, it's like I like to play around with certain pictures, and that's when I came up with the cover. And I'm like, it has that classic feel to it. That's what I consider her anyway. She's a classic.
Oh, absolutely. A veteran of some wonderful indie films.
Actually, speaking of that, this is what I watched when I got home from work. if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Talk about making an entrance into a movie.
Right.
That's the entrance she made. But it's awesome. I'm a fan first, you know, and I enjoy watching your films and everybody's work and films, and I love adding them to my collection. You know, I'm old school, so I love a hard copy. You know,
I gotta get a couple in your hands.
I still have a VCR that I use.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'll never give that up. But yeah, people like her, and then it just kind of, once I posted that on Facebook, other people just started.
It set the world on fire.
Coming in. Yeah. Can I help? Can I help? Can I be part of it? Can I help? And I'm like, wow, this is pretty wild.
That is a pretty ballsy move. You know what I mean? And it's not unheard of, especially this day and age, when, you know, you put something out there and this is my announcing this to the Facebook world, especially. Exactly. Because all of us, you know, indie horror community, we're on there all day long, every friggin' day, whether it's our own shit, we're sharing shit that we're going to be in, or we're sharing other people's stuff. Exactly. I hope. But, you know, you start getting people interested in it.
Right.
People like Morgan Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, my good friend, Misty Wagner. David J. Paul, like all these folks are good friends of mine, you know, and it's like you couldn't have picked a better cast to really kind of, you know, whether it's through imagery or, you know, some remote shot stuff. Once you start getting that together, it's like your project becomes bigger than what you had imagined. And we all love what you're doing. That's the first and foremost part of it right there.
And I appreciate,
you know what I'm saying? I could tell just from your wonderful, you know, posters, graphics, how you're kind of bringing I mean, we're just going to go ahead and show some of you out there in the Black Flame universe here. I mean, this image right there was like one of my favorites. This one here, I'm super hype on it. Absolutely love it. You know what I mean?
I had to create something on the darker side.
It makes you feel it, though.
Yeah.
You know, again, attention grabbers. And somebody who's new, you know, to the industry, I feel you did it in a very creative way. And you didn't ask, you know, other than, you know, hey, can I use your image for this?
That's it.
You know, and that gives you an opening to talk to some of these veteran actors, you know, not just myself, but everybody else on the roster. You know, it's like, hey.
Yep. I mean, I feel like I've become, you know, friends. You know, it's
big time.
There's that.
We're like one big dark family.
Exactly. There's that relationship now. You know,
it's like, what can I do for you, sir? You have the vision. The vision is there. You've laid it out. And we're just like, dude, this is awesome.
I mean, another person that has helped me tremendously is Miro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Simona, you know, they're in Bulgaria.
Nice.
But, you know, it's like there's such a huge help. And like I said, sometimes I don't have the words, you know, but I appreciate everything that everybody does for me, you know, and working on part 4 and 5, I mean, Miro is really helping me actually write the story as well.
Ooh.
You know, so he's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of ideas that are great.
Well, it's like that group synergy.
Right.
When somebody gets what you're trying to convey, what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
And then there are other, very, very brilliant, very skilled writers out there that are like, hey, well, did you ever think about this? And suddenly, this is the thing I love the most, collaboration begins.
Exactly. Yep.
Because at the end of the day, this was your baby. And now this baby is born and it's growing. And for growth, in cases like this,
right.
Not only is this a learning process for you because you're kind of new to this end of things, and then by the time you get it to where you want it, sky's the limit. Because when you asked me, hey, Reaper, do you want to come back and reprise The Caretaker? I was like, fuck yeah, are you kidding? Does a bear shit in the woods? Come on. Where would it be without me? You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not trying to say I got a big head of myself, but I'm kind of like the conduit between the worlds.
Right. You need to be in it, I mean, I'm always going to just ask because I know how busy everybody is.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
So, but I just.
So was that kind of like a surprise to you that everybody was like, hey, can I get in on this?
Yeah,
can I do it again?
I think it still is. It still surprises me. I mean, I'll be sitting here, editing and, watching what everybody has done for me. And not to get too sappy, but I'll get emotional.
Well, sure.
I'll just stop and be like, wow, this is really happening. This is taking off. Like you said, a baby was born, but now the village has it and we're going to help it grow now.
Oh, absolutely. My first thought was, hey, I think it's time to take this to the next level. I even said that to you, I think. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because a lot of us, from an actor standpoint, we're not, new to the idea of like shooting remote footage based on what you want for that character. So suddenly it's like, now it's really becoming more lifelike. The imagery is still there. All of the original things that you've done, up to part 3, is still there. So the flavor is still there, but yet there's a bit more. It gives you each time you're getting a little bit more of each of the main, characters here. And then you're able to fill some other parts as well.
Right. What you've done for part 4 and what Clifton Taylor has done and Andrew Pearson has done.
I can't wait to see Cliff's.
And
Cliffy!
I call them my dynamic duo is John Hodge and Sam Hodge.
Oh, yes.
And what they've done for
Redhead in the house.
I mean, it's she is just amazing. I appreciate those guys. I love those guys. I mean,
they are hard working too.
I'm an associate producer on Redhead 2.
I'm one of the wailing voices from hell.
Well, there you go. It's going to be an amazing project when that comes out.
It's definitely going to be next level for what they've already, created.
Exactly. And then, part 5, the same. But going back to part 3, people like Mary Kate, me
she's awesome
with voice and imagery like she does. Sammy Morningstar,
right?
Just everybody. It's awesome. Like you said, it's like I look at the DVD and I read the cast and I'm like, wow, I actually have this.
Well, and it's not just because of who's in it that really makes it special. It's that everybody believed in this idea so much that it kind of took on a little bit, I don't know, just bigger. Right. Especially after they see the any of the finished projects up to that point, which I gotta let y'all know a little something. on Friday the 13th recently, part 3 of Creep Footage, Night Nurse, dropped on Kevin's YouTube channel, and it's super easy to find. And of course, in my infinite wisdom, I wanted to try to, point you in the right direction. But as you can see there, unless you take your cell phones right now, take a photo and then just plug that in, that'll work. I was hoping it would be a little bit different, but no. But at the same token, you can either put Kevin's name into the search bar on YouTube, Kevin Gincerowski, and his page will come up, folks, and it'll be there for you to see. Or you can also put Creep Footage 3, the little colon there, and then Night Nurse. And believe it or not, it'll bring you right to it. There's no excuse. You don't have to pay for anything.
Nope.
It's right there. So I want to make sure that if you have not gone to see Creep Footage 3 just yet, there's no excuse. You know where to go now. And it's only going to get better and better because you've gone through the imagery. You've had, the photos kind of leading the story, a little bit of footage here and there, moving parts. But now it's becoming even more moving parts.
Right.
So it's taking on, quite a bit. And what's in store for double feature?
Exactly.
Good. And of course, on Halloween,
Exactly.
you have part 4, part 5 right there, ready to go. You can have a marathon. As a matter of fact, that's what y'all should do. Get on over to Kevin's YouTube channel. Sign up now.
And it's my wedding anniversary.
Hey, even better, man. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So part 4 is it's basically my homage to the 80s.
Nice.
Part 5 it's going to be more dramatic, and it's a full black and white.
See, that was one of the other things that I was going to mention. Like the way you frame a lot of things within each of these shorts, it definitely gives you that universal black and white flavor. Shoot, let's go back to Nosferatu. Like that kind of graininess that you even though it's not in color, it feels dark and creepy.
Exactly.
I've always said that, a lot of the stuff that I do too, just for, Reaper's Underground page, just to post and stuff like that. I love doing the black and white, not because my makeup's that way, but the feel and I don't know, what do you call it? The dust particles, you know what I mean? That are always like kind of flashing here and there. It's like, man, there's just something so special about that.
There's certain movies, like I'll watch even now. For example, I said I had a VCR that I still use.
Yeah.
Because
thank you.
I need
for doing that.
Yeah, I need the graininess of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the crystal clear. There's certain movies that I don't want to watch crystal clear. I want grainy, and I want just warped and like the tape has been stretched out. You know what I mean? It's to me that it's sentimental that way for me.
And I mean, here's a prime example. This is a mainstream example, unfortunately, but still. When we saw the first season of The Walking Dead.
Yes. Which I own. That's good.
Nice. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of lost it. They lost it with me after the 3rd season. I kind of came in and out for different characters. But,
when everybody started dressing up like they're riding a dirt bike, I kind of tuned out. I'm like, I don't know if that was season 4 or 5 or whatever, but I'm like, yeah, you're kind of losing me now. But
well, I don't know. Sometimes they went too far into a particular character story, right. And it's just like, when you're watching it versus reading it like in a graphic novel, I mean, you have all that freedom. You know what I mean? Which is why people always say that novels are better. Right. But screen wise, I don't feel like you always have to really flesh that origin out so much.
Right.
But before season 2 came out, they did a special thing. And they took the very first episode from season 1 and put that shit in black and white.
White.
All I have to say is, was that bigger of an impact? Abso-fucking-lutely it was.
Yes.
It was powerful. It gave me every bit of Night of the Living Dead vibes. Exactly. So the fact that you're taking part 5 and moving into that, I think people are going to be even more intrigued.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, I know I am. I mean, already the amount that I have done, it's like this definitely has a nice, just a classic, eerie, I wanted to create it a little bit more dramatic.
Yes.
Again, the story's there, it'll always be there, but another flavor, it's like I need to provide another flavor.
Drama, thrills, and chills, they're like the perfect marriage when it comes to stuff like this, I think.
Exactly.
And as a matter of fact, if y'all haven't seen it yet, I got a tasty little teaser clip here for you of Creep Footage 3, Night Nurse. Ready to go. Check it out.
Welcome to the next chapter of Creep Footage.
No more Mr. Nice Guy with you. You're just pure evil.
You know what's really too bad? This is the end of the line for you, Angie. Witness all the torture, all the darkness, all the evil, all the sex, and all of the blood.
$10 was
See it all come apart in Creep Footage 3.
very serious.
Now, if that didn't suck y'all's asses in, I don't know what will. Oh, I know. Reaper told you to go over there and watch it. So y'all have a little homework to do out there, Black Flame Universe. Man, just like it literally the perfect trailer, in my opinion. It gave you just enough, but enough to go, wait a minute, but what's happening?
Where's that going to go?
Where's this going to go? Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
And one of the last pictures there was Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Anna, I can't pronounce her last name.
I think her last name is Zayden. Yeah.
I just wanted to give a shout out to her. I mean, providing me with some amazing material.
Hell yeah. Way to go, Anna. So you can definitely see where this is going. And I love the constant showing of the graveyard, because graveyards are always going to be spooky. It doesn't automatically say vampire. It doesn't automatically say werewolf or zombie, although it's very synonymous with those things. But at the same token, it has its own creepiness, because inevitably that's where we all must go eventually. Right. So here it is haunting you throughout this story. And, death is definitely that catalyst, of the unknown. We don't know what's going to come next.
I mean, the beginning scene there, the black and white, that was my tribute to the Night of the Living Dead.
Yes.
You know, I
definitely felt that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do something, you know. I mean, I was definitely inspired by many movies, but that I had to pay a little homage to.
Well, and you know, you did it in such a way, very subtle, very, you know, because you're incorporating all these different types of films that have inspired you and giving homage to all of them. With the type of film that you're doing, that's difficult, but yet people go, I get it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, the one actress there putting the old camcorder, you know, style on that also gave that flavor back to the 90s. I mean, it was synonymous with horror.
Exactly.
So cool. So cool. So I guess one of my final questions before the top of the hour is, can you see this becoming a feature?
I've been thinking about it. I can see it. I think in my plans, I have, after 5, I have one more short that I want to do. And then my goal for next year is to start a feature, like putting it in a full length film.
And what better of a way to do this? And I think it's very unique because I don't believe anyone else has ever tried it. You've been dropping parts all the way through. You don't ever have to shoot a concept.
Right.
You've completely eliminated the need for that because all the concept is there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to pull, you could literally easily pull all of us in to do that feature.
Yeah.
But you'll still, I mean, I'm sure the idea that you probably have is to still within a feature, even though you have people doing lines and stuff like that, be able to keep that original flavor.
Exactly. I mean, I got a few ideas. I mean, my wife bought me a notebook for a reason, you know, so I got to write stuff down.
Idea book.
The idea book.
We all have one, people.
I think it'll work. Like I said, I have one more short I want to do after part 5. Now, part 3, the night nurse part in the title, it doesn't mean an actual night nurse. What it is like somebody said good night.
Yeah.
But they say, oh, night nurse, you know, instead of, oh, good night. So I just kind of like shortened it up there.
Sure. It's more of a goodbye.
Exactly.
You're out of here.
I mean, sometimes when I watch the film myself, you know, it's like I have to put myself in Apple's, because I'm Apple, you know, the character. So it's hard sometimes because Apple in the aggressive parts, you know, with the language and his demeanor and all that, it's definitely interesting getting into the mindset right there. You know, it's like there's a scene in part 3 where Nurse Candy and Apple go back and forth, you know, and you know, it's just an audio, but still you can hear it's not nice. You know, and it's like I'm doing this and I'm like dialing a message. I'm sorry, you know, I don't mean to use the language, but I have to. You know, it's the character. It's not really me. I don't think this way.
Oh, I'm sure she got it. You know what I mean?
But it's like putting yourself in a character, and then it's like, wow. Sometimes
trust me, it's like when my paint is removed, I'm happy-go-lucky, fun-loving, teddy bear, even though most people, they see me, no matter what, and they're just, it's like that intimidation factor. I'm like, why? I'm not here to kick your ass.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. I mean, unless you, you harm somebody that I love or something, then you're going to get it.
Then you get
but, but once the paint comes on, this is different.
Right. Exactly.
And any character that I play in any other film. So, that's really kind of how it is. And it's cool that you've been able to have that experience.
It's quite the experience.
Yeah. Had you ever done any acting?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sure.
This is my first. Going into creep footage is my first for everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I do the music for it. I've been writing music for a few years.
Nice.
And what I would do is I would create, and then it would just sit there. I wouldn't do anything with it. Mm-hmm. So when I got into the filming part of it, I'm like, oh, now I can use some of my own music and put it in the background. And it works.
Did you ever imagine yourself a director first, then actor, or actor, then director?
Probably a director first.
Okay.
Because I mean, I'm not comfortable in front of cameras or anything. I just
sure.
Behind the camera kind of thing. But with Apple, like in part 2, you can see me walking. I have the mask on. I'm like, I have to provide an image.
Yeah.
But having the mask on made me feel a little bit more comfortable doing it.
Oh, sure. From doing a lot of creature acting myself, it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about what they're seeing, because you get to let that imposing image ingrain itself in people's minds, and suddenly you're someone else. It's like, oh, right. I just stepped out of my body. Oh, yeah, I absolutely agree with this. Mortimer says, the process of character development is my favorite part of filmmaking. So,
yes. And
think about that. If you do, step into the realm, which I think that is the most logical step, after dropping the next installment, to make a feature, whoever you cast, you know what I mean, for the role of Apple, let's say, you already know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
And how many directors can say that? They really can't, because not all directors, quote unquote, star in their own film. So, even if you've written it, you may have a vision of it, sure. But are the mannerisms there, the inflections, the way the voice is, movements, all that stuff.
Right.
So I feel like that'll serve you really well.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to the ride. I'm enjoying it, even with my anxiety. I mean, I deal with anxiety quite a bit. And sometimes that takes me down a road, and I have to come back. Kind of thing. Like this past week has been a rough week. Earlier in the week, I was dealing with a migraine.
Tis the season.
Exactly. So finally, I'm feeling better. So
fantastic.
Once I feel better, I just get right back to it, and I don't let anything, or try not to let anything really stop me.
No, and nor should you.
Right.
Sometimes, I mean, even taking a mental break, it's one of those things when you're not necessarily feeling the pressure, but you're as a creator, we do get stressed out on different things. Maybe something isn't coming out just right, or maybe we need to take a step back, refigure a scene, how you want that sequence to go. You got to take a couple days for yourself.
Exactly. It's important. It's important.
Oh, extremely important, because you always want to give the best of yourself.
Exactly.
But not at the cost of your sanity. I think it's the best way to say that.
Right.
When I did Grind and I was talking to director Mark Cantu, as soon as film was wrapped, he's like, he put this image up on his Facebook that says, taking a break. Because exactly. The next thing you got to do after that is all the the post-production.
Exactly.
So giving yourself a week, maybe 2, shoot.
Yeah.
Hell, do it. It gives you a chance to recharge, come back, fresh eyes, mental state, like all the cloudiness is kind of removed, and there's nothing that can stop you. And at that point, you become a fucking machine. That's the way I look at it. Nothing can stop you. It's like T2 all over again.
Exactly.
And I have to agree with Debbie on this too. She says sometimes the best ideas come from those breaks. And it's true.
And they do.
Because you have said, at the beginning that the kind of one of the biggest catalysts of this franchise was the fact of that mental hospital, that rundown ghost town, that just gave you all those creative juices. So you take a minute, maybe you have a nightmare or two. And from that, and I know people probably be like, Reaper, are you fucked up? No, I'm not. Sometimes you get some of the best ideas from your nightmares.
You do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's why they're there, to give you that extra push.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Mortimer also agrees with that as well. He says, yep, got to have those recharge moments. Got to.
Yeah, I remember there was a period during early on making part 3 where I was just having a lot of frustration.
Sure.
And there was probably a couple of moments where I almost just said, bye, I'm not doing this. But thanks to you and the indie community and my wife and my friends and my family, everybody being so supportive, that recharged me. And then all of a sudden, like you said, the creative juices just started flowing. And then I look back and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't.
And that's why I say, man, the indie community is a testament. Not just the filmmakers, the actors, actresses, the fans, everybody.
Right.
They're there with you every step of the way, whether sometimes we don't realize it or not. Like I've said 1,000 times, I've been doing this podcast for 4 years.
Wow.
And I'm like, I never know who's watching. Like since I got more into the convention circuit, Tennessee.
Right.
Oh, you know who Reaper is? You know what I mean? That surprises me. I mean, I have it happen a lot at the tattoo conventions too. It's like, oh yeah, we watch you, and I'm just like, you do? And it's moments like that, that the community really does show that they are there for you. They're backing you. Which is why, you put it to Indiegogo, all that stuff, right. Man, I think you're going to be really, really surprised. Yeah. My good buddy, James Dean, director of upcoming My Blade Is Your Salvation. He was stressed out.
Yeah.
Totally stressed out. Am I going to make budget? And within a week, he hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That just goes to show you how many people are there for you, behind you.
Exactly.
And now you're starting to see, which is probably a pleasant thing, I'm sure, is that your actors are also just as passionate about what you're doing as you are.
Yeah.
And that's when you know you got something special.
I was just going to say that.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to give a little shout out to Josh.
Sure.
Josh Wynn.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is, the awards.
NC-17.
Yeah. I mean, I've been, Creep Footage has been nominated 5 times.
Nice.
It's, it just still like, pinching myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, another testament.
He's going to be part of part 4.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's going to be part of it. So I'm excited, to show his debut, this Halloween.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be
happy
fun.
to have him. And for those of you out there that know Josh and NC-17 Productions, we have a little film called Not There. So get ready for something wicked this way comes.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, I am your gateway through this fantastic story. So it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. All of us are. So definitely be looking for that too. But most importantly, keep in mind that the next 2 chapters, not 1 but 2, because you get double the fun this time on Halloween of this year, 2025, in epic fashion. Double feature, Creep Footage 4 and 5. But wait a minute. Go to Kevin's YouTube right after this. If you have not seen it, go watch it. Check it out. Go into it with a fresh, open mind and just soak it all in. Because guaranteed, there's going to be something that draws you into this world of Apple. So, man, thank you so much for coming on the Underground tonight. I've been looking forward to this all week, and it did not disappoint.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, hey, my pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
That's
like I said, it's like you, for me personally, it's like you, along with others that are helping me with this, show me that prayers are answered. So I just want to put that out there.
And this is what I always say. Family helps family. Because at the end of the day, that is what we are.
That's right.
And if I ever had a negative experience on a film, it's a film that it didn't feel like a film family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like I said, you have so many people that are friends of mine as well, or I've worked with them. We talk about it and we lift everybody up at the same time. So the support is there, my friend. Do not stop by any means. But for everybody that has shown up for you tonight, and maybe some new fans that you may have made, what is your lasting message for them?
Just thank you. I really appreciate everybody's support and everybody going on YouTube and checking this out. And for the indie community, and I love you all, and I appreciate everything. And thank you for being part of my madness and crazy journey. But it's very important to always end with love, because that's what keeps us together.
And that's one of the things I preach about most. Mm-hmm. If love, honestly, is not at the center of everything you do, it's destined for chaos. Yeah. I have fans reach out to me and friends all the time. They're like, shit, everything's in peril. And I'm like, well, are you putting your heart and soul into what you're doing?
Right.
You know, whether you're looking for a job or you're looking for a change or you want to make a change for yourself, is that what's driving you? And believe me, brother, everyone can see that is what is happening here with this wonderful franchise.
Thank you.
Most definitely. And again, thank y'all out there in the Black Flame universe for choosing Reapers Underground to kick off your weekend. And it's a hotter than hell one in most of our areas. But don't forget, the fun doesn't stop here. Tomorrow night, don't forget, if you are ready to giggle, if you're ready to have your guts busted, if you're ready to go, what did he say? Tomorrow night, it's time to sin. Oh, yes. We're going to have a good time and celebrating the great indulgence of life with the goddamn program at 8 p.m. CST. Thank you again, Kevin, so much for joining me. It's been wonderful to have you here. And of course, you know, post, repost, we're going to do all that. And again, I have to say it one more time in case you didn't hear me. Go to Kevin's YouTube channel, Kevin Gincerowski, or put it in the search bar as Creep Footage 3 Night Nurse. And check out exactly what this world has to offer. And don't forget to always stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.